Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach, and I just finished season 1 of Discovery, episode 15, and I feel so relieved. I'm so happy it's done. It's been such a journey. Oh my gosh. From innocence and enthusiasm to like just bitter fatalism. Do you remember when I started reviewing this like 2 months ago? I was like, I don't know what people's problems are with Commander Michael Burnham. She's really compelling. Yeah, okay. I just want her done. By the way, back in the 80s when they had, Rambo movies and RoboCop movies, they used to do this kill count, and it would always go up as the sequels went on. Can we do a cry count to compare season 1 to season 2? I know season 1 had an extra episode, but I think season 2 has got it. But anyway, you know how Google, like, once you watch or once you go to like one website, or it just decides that's your favorite thing ever. On my phone, when I open up the Google Chrome app, it has like a Google page. Oh my gosh, I'd listened to Guns N' Roses for like 2 days a month ago, and now it still thinks I'm the biggest Guns N' Roses fan ever. But anyway, so I've been watching Star Trek Discovery, and I have been reading some of the articles. So it feels like I get every single article written on Star Trek Discovery every day. And I have never, ever, ever, ever seen this fan theory. And you know how everyone on Enterprise or Discovery is crazy? And you know how everyone is labile and they're crying all the time and they're having tantrums and they're having freakouts? Do you remember? I believe it was episode 1 where they go over to that other starship that was also experimenting on a spore drive. And do you remember when the bulkheads were twisted, the frame was twisted, and the people's bodies would be twisted and broken? And do you remember how Stamets and I think Tilly had a breakthrough and they were able to figure out how to get the spore drive to work? This is my fan theory. The perfected spore drive in the Discovery does not warp or twist physical matter, but it does warp and twist psyches. That's why. I mean, seriously, compare the end of season 1. Even compare Mirror Universe Giorgio to how she acts in season 2 once she's been on this, once she did a spore drive jump. For most of season 1, Giorgio is a pretty straightforward villain. She's like commanding, a little sarcastic, little biting wit, but kind of normal. Compare her to season 2, where she's like, she literally dresses like a Flash Gordon villain. She's telling all of these trash Joss Whedon jokes. Traveling from a mirror universe is not the problem. Because remember, Lorca was pretty solid. I think it was a transporter accident got him over. But if you come over with a spore drive, and if you constantly do what do they do, like 150 spore drive jumps, it will, in some cases, turn you crazy, like Michael Burnham. Michael Burnham at the end of season 1 is very, very different than at the beginning. And they try to tie it up and say that she's an arc and she's learned. But if you compare episode 1, 2, and 3, Michael Burnham, she's barely crying. Even when she's doing a mutiny, it's like done professionally. You know what I mean? She's like, ma'am, we got to do this. And then she's like, no. She's like, okay, I'm going to zap you. The last episode was like 20 minutes of crying. Both of the penultimate episodes have include 20 minutes of crying, and it's always, and I mean, it'll literally be Burnham crying with Tyler, Burnham crying with Tilly, Burnham crying with Giorgio. Let's not even get into the insane reason she brought Giorgio over, but whatever. So anyway, this is the wrap up, although weirdly enough, it almost felt like it didn't matter. Even though it ends the Klingon War, it does it in such like a weird way. So they're teleporting, or they're spore jumping inside a cavern on Kronos, the Klingon homeworld. And in this version of Trek, Kronos, it literally has like a cloud layer. It's people don't know about it. Even the Star Trek future, people barely know about this planet. So they're gonna spore drive into a cavern and then send out drones to map the planet so they can do bombardments on it. And then we find out that these volcanoes they thought were dormant are still active, and there's an actual there's a Starfleet mission to get Giorgio to put this hydro bomb in the planet core, and then that'll cause a big steam eruption that'll destroy the surface and the atmosphere. So that sounds pretty pulse pounding. And then they just go and they literally, half of the episode is just them in a marketplace on Kronos, not being challenged. Hey, we've never seen you Earth, humans before. We're in a war with Earth and the Federation, which is mostly humans. No. It's Tilly gets roofied. Georgiou has the most unconvincing threesome ever. What happens? The best part was seeing Ash Tyler, Vogue Tyler, get around Klingons, and he basically starts roughhousing with them the way that Klingons would, and then the Klingons like it, and they like respect him. That was actually a pretty cool scene. And by the way, that actor, he's fantastic. Michael Burnham is teary-eyed or crying or bragging about herself 80% of the time. Nothing makes sense. Everyone's a murderer. Burnham ate a Kelpian. They're basically cannibals. I mean, I know cannibal is your own species, but I think if you eat a humanoid that could, converse with you, that's still pretty much cannibalism. Everything's terrible. I don't know. Tilly and Stamets are relatively unscathed at the end of season 1. They've had interesting storylines, and they're still, you can respect them. Nobody can respect Admiral Cornwell. She gets schnookered too much, and she doesn't stand up for her principles. Oh no, Saru comes through very well as also, but yeah. So the Spore drive, the Discovery Spore drive, warps, let's say, human minds, because Saru seems pretty solid, and Tilly got into the command program. They call her ensign and cadet at the same time. Okay, whatever. Besides that, I don't know. The actress who does Laurel does a really good job. Oh, in this ridiculous gambit, there's a bomb at the center of Kronos. By the way, Kronos is the home planet for an empire at war, and the security is quite lax. Kind of reminds me of, like, if you remember before 9/11, what getting onto an airplane was like. It was very, very casual. I remember being in the Marines and driving down to San Diego or getting a buddy to drive me down there, flying home, and like getting to the airport like 30 minutes before the plane takes off. Sometimes even closer, sometimes like 15, 20. That's basically, Kronos has the security of pre-9/11 American airports. So there's a bomb, and then Burnham gives this ridiculous speech, and then a cannibal dictator says, "Wow, great speech. Okay, I'm totally on your side." Then hands over the detonator to the bomb, and then they give it to Laurel, who they're like, "You can use this to get control of the Klingon Empire." So she goes to the council. She's like, "Put me in command," and they all start laughing. And then she holds up this iPad. She's like, "Or I will blow up the planet." Like, what? What? First of all, you'd probably have to get people to confirm that there actually is a bomb, and then they would probably just like grab it or disarm it or teleport it into space, beam it into space. Like, this is a plan that might get you to be the leader of the Klingon Empire for like a day or two. And then someone would figure out a way. Like, she's in this chamber with, I don't know, a couple hundred Klingon males, and she's not even really guarding it that well. Like, someone could just come up behind her and just grab it from her. It's the end is just Mikey Burnham congratulating herself. Like I said, if I've got one more episode to have watched all the episodes, including the short treks, it looks like season 3 is going to be them lost in the future. It's going to be kind of like Voyager, except for instead of far from home in distance, they're going to be far from home in time. And they have not decided the captaincy yet. If it is Mikey Burnham, I'm not watching. I'm not watching to roast it. I'm not watching to laugh at it. I'm not watching to see if they pull it off. Mikey Burnham needs to be in a Starfleet mental health facility. That's if she just doesn't get discharged for failure to adapt or one of her major and many crimes she's committed. Or they just need to say, hey, you're too dangerous to be on any starship, because it turns out that multiple universes and multiple timelines and dimensions revolve around you, so you put anyone near you in constant danger. We're just going to transfer you to this planet with like one outpost and a subspace transmitter, and you're just going to sit there, okay? Stay out of the way. Stay out of trouble. But I don't know why the crew of the Discovery don't just become like the new Power Rangers or what is that? Battle of the Planets. What was that team called? Because they just built in the penultimate season 2 episode, they just built the magical Red Angel suit that has teleport anywhere through time and space, unlimited battery, and unlimited data storage. Why don't they just build 12 of them and become the new Silverhawks / Battle of the Planets / Power Rangers? Just turn it into a freaking superhero show. Because I'm sure that Mikey Burnham can fly in space without a suit. She just hasn't tried yet. So anyway, thanks for watching. Spore Drive warps minds, and I'll have another video up tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.